What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this, I want to break down a very important pattern that played out for Tesla. I want to talk about some new news that just came out about a new lawsuit for Tesla, what's going on with the overall market moving forward, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you guarantee 20 free stocks. This offer ends very soon, in just about 1 week from now. Anyways, for Tesla, we saw a big sell-off today because, once again, this head and shoulders like structure eventually did play out. I warned everyone to watch this range. We had this 173 support. If Tesla lost this, there's going to be a risk of downside. And yes, Tesla did end up, breaking below this range. We actually lost the lower support. And then our move and our target was 168. I called that out for everyone. That's where this gap was. I called this out many times. I said if Tesla lost 173, watch 168. And that's where Tesla ended up going to during this drop, losing this critical support. Then we ended up bouncing very close to 168. That's where we got this rebound. Tesla's currently, Tesla is currently testing 169. We'll have to watch and see how it kind of reacts right here, but there is some weakness on Tesla stock, especially compared to the market. So I'll talk more about this in just a few minutes. I first want to talk about some data. Don't forget, guys, that today we actually have the 42-day and 52-week bill auctions coming out at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's about 20 minutes from right now, the time I'm recording this video. So that's going to be very important. We'll see how that affects the markets. Besides that, there's been some new news that came out that Tesla's DMV self-driving false advertising case must go to trial now, and this has been a little bit more bearish for Tesla, probably the reason why it's dipping. So we have this new trial that's going to be moving forward. So a case in California courts, whether Tesla deceived customers or not, with the statement about its FSD technology, is going to be going forward. This is going to actually be very important because Tesla was trying to once again get through this, but the California judge has once again ruled that they have to continue to fight in the courts because once again they actually rejected Tesla's claims and Tesla's attempts to kind of get through this. So that being said, right now the DMV is now investigating Tesla for misleading FSD ads in 2021. As it turns out, the company was saying different things to the public than what it was saying to the DMV, apparently. The DMV sent an inquiry to Tesla in 2022 asking for it to respond to the claim that was creating incorrect perceptions about the capabilities of its system. So that happening, there's been a lot of claims that Tesla is lying about FSD, it's misleading, and this and that. And that's been a little bit more negative for them. So now with this happening, the DMV case is going to be heading to full trial. Tesla argued that the case violates its free speech rights, which famously do not apply to false advertising, as it's been recognized at the time and time again by the courts. So that's something that's very important. I'm not going to make too many claims about this because this is more of a legal matter, and this is not really my area of expertise or anything like this. But I just want to make it very clear that that's what's happening right now. There's also another probe by the SEC that's still going on about whether or not Tesla committed securities fraud in its FSD advertising. So a lot of negative news has come out involving these lawsuits. And as you guys know, Tesla is very, very news sensitive. So we will see what happens with this trial. Tesla has to once again continue with this litigation, and we'll have to see how things develop from here moving forward. But that's going to be very important. Now, there's also been a lot of talk from a lot of mainstream articles about Elon Musk's pay package. I was going over this for quite some time. We're actually starting to see some articles saying that Elon Musk doesn't care about Tesla anymore. They're actually quoting someone very important. So this is coming out. There's others out there who are saying that once again, Elon Musk used to have a lot of important roles in Tesla, doing so much work here and there, and now he's getting a lot of criticism for being very, very distractive. So Ross Gerber has come out. He said that there's real sadness and disappointment that Elon doesn't really care about Tesla anymore. He was saying this because he believes that compared to before, Tesla's not a full-time CEO. He also mentioned that when he voted yes to the 2018 shareholder pay package, there was different context. He had different information, so he had a very, very different opinion. I personally don't agree with this statement. I don't think that it's safe to really say that. I think that Musk does care a lot about Tesla. He gives most of his time to Tesla. He has many different priorities from SpaceX to the others, but he still prioritizes Tesla the most. That's what Musk has said. He gives most of his time to Tesla. And I think that the work he's doing is still very effective, very efficient. And I still believe he deserves credit for the work that he has gotten done. So the vision of FSD and AI developments in Tesla is still important. And I personally disagree. I think that Musk cares the most about Tesla. I think that he works very, very hard still. You have to consider that he tends to work, very, very long hours. He works for SpaceX and also for Tesla, and he's continuing to actually keep a lot of his promises. So, for example, right, when it comes to the valuation of the company, he met his promises of helping Tesla reach insane levels. He contributed a lot to that, not to mention the fact that there's going to be even more upside potential thanks to the AI development. So, with all these dips coming to Tesla, I just see this as more buying opportunities. But once again, guys, I'm a person that will respect other people's opinions. You have the right to think what you want, but I personally can disagree if I want to as well. And I disagree with this claim that Elon Musk doesn't care. I believe he does care, and he's still working very hard. I think that he deserves his pay package. I've already talked a lot about why I believe that. I will talk more about that later. But for now, I just want to focus on Tesla stock. So our resistance right now is at this 169 to 170 area right here. If we break through this, we could be making our way back up to 173. If we manage to hold above 170, as long as we're below that, there is a risk of more downside. So make sure you watch this critical support at 168 flat. As of right now, that's the range for Tesla. And as you guys can see, we are showing weakness. So right here, this is our support zone where Tesla is currently at, right over here. Tesla's trying to hold this area of support. So we have this resistance at 170, and we're just stuck at these levels down here as Tesla's showing some weakness. So yes, Tesla's just stuck between 160 and 170, might maintain this range for some time, but the overall trend is looking a little bit weaker on Tesla. So we'll see how well this ends up performing. Know that there is a head and shoulders right now on Tesla. The head and shoulders did play out, and we'll be watching to see how well we hold 168, because when you zoom out, we actually have this critical trend line of support I had drawn out previously. So we'll see if Tesla holds 162 to 165 next as our next support. If 168 breaks, our resistance is still going to be around 170 to 172. So we'll just have to see how things go. As of right now, we're just kind of shuffling right here. So Tesla's showing some weakness. I think we're going to likely continue to do so because of all this negative news. Now for SPY, exactly as you predicted, very close to what I predicted. I said that SPY might actually dip all the way down to about 533, if not 532.5, and then try to bounce. That's what happened. The dip and bounce we called out. I even said that in my video from yesterday. SPY did go all the way down to 532 only to get bought back up. So we didn't hold below 533. We actually got bought back up again. And like I said before, the market likes to get bought back up. Now, even though the market is going to likely try to push a little higher, we could be approaching 535 soon. We also have this range between 533 and 536, which is where I think SPY is going to kind of like stay. Whether or not this continues, let me just make it very clear that there's a lot of data coming out for tomorrow that will determine that. So we'll just have to wait and see how things go. But as of right now, SPY is getting bought back up. Nvidia is shuffling exactly as you predicted, stuck within this range. I did mention that we might touch our 20 EMA. We came close to it in this 119 area. Now we're back at 121. My personal opinion is that Nvidia will continue to shop around, trade sideways, not really do anything too crazy. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin is also dipping a little bit. There's actually a bit of a downtrend. We got a double top like structure kind of dipping right over here. We have this support all the way over here around this 66,500 area, and we have resistance around 67,600. We're kind of stuck within this range, but Bitcoin could be downtrending right here as we have a double top like structure. So I'm seeing some weakness in Bitcoin. For the QQQ, we dipped, like I said in my earlier video, the 20 EMA. Watch that very carefully. That's exactly where we ended up going to on the QQQ. We tested just under 462. We didn't actually lose 462 to turn bearish. Had we lost this, yes, this could have actually tipped more all the way down to 460. We held 462, and now we're trying to rebound to 465, the all-time high. So the QQQ is going to likely continue to touch this. Could even try to break out a little higher. So watch this resistance in the 465s. Watch support around 462, and also at 460, 463.5 is another level, but we're still holding up very well. And so far, the chart is favoring the bulls. So the buyers are still stepping in and trying to push things higher. Now, Apple went absolutely parabolic. We got some very, very bullish news that just came out, and Apple ended up dipping a little bit only to break out. So now we're making new all-time highs. I'll be watching this resistance right over here. Part of the reason why the market bounces is also because of Apple. So with Apple pushing, I'll be watching this resistance around 205. We started off with an initial dip, but by the rumors, still the news events, and now we're going to be approaching. We could get very close to 205 in my personal opinion, so I'll be watching that as our next resistance. Critical support's at 200. We'll see if we close above that. Overall, Apple is looking very bullish, and this is helping the market hold up very well. For a few more, we had Coinbase kind of dip a bit. It actually dropped all the way down to 232, and now we're actually holding above the 50 EMA. So resistance happens to be at 246, so we could actually rebound and push a little higher as we have this gap to fill. So we'll see if Coinbase tries to break out. If we do break past 244, then we could fill this gap all the way up to 249. For Amazon, we actually pushed all the way up to about 188. We kind of rejected here a bit. So watch 186 as support and 188 as resistance. We'll have to see how we kind of react right here. But overall, we're holding up very well, in my opinion. Meta is also holding up well. As long as we hold above 500, we could continue to push all the way up to about 505. If we lose 500, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 495. But overall, we're still looking more bullish. For GameStop is just shuffling over here in this area. We could even try to bounce a little bit later on. As I just want to see if GameStop could hold above. As long as we're above 21.36, there's going to be bounce potential for this. But to really push, you want to see it break past 29.5. Otherwise, it's just shuffling. AMC is testing resistance at our 20 EMA, 4.96. If we break this, we'll be looking for the fives. All right, so that is it for this video. That's your quick technical update so far. Market is looking more bullish. We're seeing SPY and the QQ getting bought up. But Tesla is showing weakness because of all this bad news with the lawsuits, with the new trial from the DMV. There's also an SEC probe that's going on, which is not the best of news. So negative headlines are causing Tesla to dip, and as of right now, we're going to be watching these support zones. So watch this 168 area. Let's hope Tesla holds this for now. Otherwise, Tesla's just going to remain range bound, at least for the time being. All right, so thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.